Before we get into anything, I want to warn you guys, this episode covers sensitive topics. So if you're not comfortable with topics that pertain to suicide or death or killing, I advise you to step away now. Also, there might be some inaccuracies as this was created by an AI, so please do your own research as well. In the heart of New Delhi, in a quiet neighborhood, something sinister lurked behind closed doors. A family, cherished by their community, suddenly vanished, not physically, but from life itself. 11 lives taken under mysterious circumstances. A tragedy that continues to haunt the nation. What happened to the Bhatia family in Burari? Was it faith, madness, or something far more complex? Today, we'll delve into one of India's most perplexing and chilling cases, the Burari Deaths. I'm Cassidy, and this is Shadows of Burari. Join me as we navigate through this haunting story, one that reveals the fragility of belief and the darkness it can sometimes bring. It was a hot July morning in Burari, and the sun shone brightly over the neighborhood. Streets were coming to life as shopkeepers opened their doors and customers picked up daily essentials. But something was different. Gurcharan Singh, a close friend and neighbor of the Bhatia family, sensed that something wasn't right. The Bhatia family's grocery store was still locked, which was unusual. Known for their punctuality, they were always open at this hour, a dependable presence in the community. Gurcharan's gaze fell on their closed gate with a feeling of unease. They're never late, he thought, a knot tightening in his stomach. Following his instincts, he approached their house and knocked on the door, calling out, but only silence answered. Heart racing, he looked through the window. Inside, the dim light revealed a disturbing sight. Shadows filled the room, and the stillness felt almost heavy, as if the air itself held a terrible secret. Alarmed by what he saw, Gurcharan stumbled back and called the police. When they arrived, the officers forced their way inside and were met with a scene of profound stillness. 10 family members were discovered together in one room, each in an unnatural state, with their hands bound and faces covered. In a separate room, Narani Devi, the elderly matriarch, was found. The quiet within the home was haunting, as if time had stopped, casting an eerie calm over the house. The Bhatias were well known in the Burari neighborhood. A family of 11, they were close-knit, respected, and loved by their neighbors. They were often seen celebrating festivals together, laughter filling the air. But like every family, they had their share of struggles, some hidden from the outside world. Narayan Bhatia, the family patriarch, was a retired government employee. He had always been the rock of the family, guiding them with wisdom and stability. He was known for his calm demeanor, a steady presence amidst life's challenges. His death left a void that no one could fill. His wife, Narani Devi, affectionately known as Nanny, took over as the heart of the household. With her warm nature and culinary skills, she kept everyone together, emphasizing the importance of family traditions. Nanny was the glue that held the family together. She had a special bond with her grandchildren, often telling them stories from her childhood, instilling in them values of love, respect, and faith. However, after Narayan's passing, things began to shift within the family unit. Lalit Bhatia, the younger son, struggled the most with their father's death. He had always been close to his dad, often seeking his guidance. Following Narayan's death, Lalit claimed he could communicate with his father's spirit. For the Bhatia family, this was more than just a comforting belief, it was a turning point in their lives. Lalit, who had once been seen as the family's charming and magnetic personality, slowly took on a more spiritual role. He wasn't just a son or a brother anymore, he became the family's guide, their spiritual leader. And they followed him, believing he had been chosen to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. One by one, the family members became increasingly involved in his rituals. Lalit would claim that he received messages from their father. He believed that Narayan was watching over them, guiding them from beyond. The family, whether out of grief, fear, or unwavering loyalty, began to believe it too. They started gathering for spiritual meetings, reciting prayers, and performing rituals that Lalit instructed them to follow. As the weeks turned into months, their gatherings became infused with an unsettling spirituality. What was once a source of joy transformed into a heavy burden. Lalit's influence grew stronger, and the family's connection to him deepened. With each passing day, they became more enmeshed in a web of spiritual beliefs, leading them into uncharted territory. Okay, now that we know who they were, let's try to figure out what happened on that sinister day. When the police entered the Bhatia home on July 1st, 2018, they were met with a scene straight out of a nightmare. 10 family members were hanging from a grill attached to the ceiling, their hands tied, their mouths gagged. Narani Devi, the eldest, was found in another room. The scene was eerily calm, a stark contrast to the horror that unfolded. No signs of a struggle, no forced entry, just a chilling stillness that left investigators reeling. But what puzzled investigators even more were the 11 diaries they found hidden inside the home. These weren't just any diaries. They were detailed records of rituals, prayers, and spiritual messages. Messages that Lalit claimed came directly from their father. The diaries revealed a deep, troubling obsession with spirituality. The family had been documenting their thoughts, fears, and instructions for months, perhaps even years. Each entry painted a picture of a family deeply entangled in beliefs that were leading them down a dangerous path. The last entries were particularly alarming, detailing a ritual that would supposedly lead to enlightenment and freedom from earthly attachments. One entry detailed a specific ritual that Lalit had instructed them to follow. The ritual, according to the diaries, was meant to bring the family closer to salvation, a spiritual breakthrough. But it was also clear that this ritual involved something far more sinister, a dark transformation of faith into desperation. Autopsy results later revealed that while most family members had died by hanging, 3 individuals showed signs of strangulation. The police speculated that these individuals might have resisted the ritual that unfolded, adding another layer of complexity to the investigation. Was it truly a collective act, or was there a darker force at play? Days turned into weeks as the investigation unfolded. Neighbors reported that the family had become increasingly secretive in the months leading up to the tragedy. Whispers of strange rituals circulated through the community. As the police delved deeper, they uncovered more details about Lalit's psychological state. Was he truly communicating with spirits, or was this a manifestation of his grief and desperation? So, what really happened in the Bhatia home that night? Investigators, psychologists, and the media have proposed several theories, each more chilling than the last. One theory is that it was a murder-suicide. Perhaps Lalit, believing he was saving his family from an evil force, orchestrated the entire ritual. But when some of them resisted, things went horribly wrong, leading to tragic consequences that no one could foresee. Another theory suggests it was a mass suicide driven by a shared belief in spiritual salvation. The absence of a struggle in many of the victims suggested that they willingly participated, convinced that this was their path to enlightenment and peace, a misguided belief in unity even in death. Then there's the theory of shared psychosis or folie à famille, where Lalit's delusions may have spread to the rest of the family, pulling them deeper into his belief system until they saw no other way out. In such close-knit families, this kind of shared delusion can become incredibly dangerous, leading to tragic outcomes when one person's beliefs dominate. Finally, there's the possibility of severe mental health issues. Lalit exhibited signs of distress after his father's death, leading to erratic behavior and obsessive rituals. Was he so consumed by grief that he lost touch with reality? Could it be that the family's desperate need for connection, combined with unresolved grief, led them into a spiral they couldn't escape? These theories swirl around the community like the very whispers once echoed through the Bhatia home. Each explanation paints a different picture of despair, and as the dust settles, the truth remains elusive. Even now, years after the Burari deaths, the case remains an enigma. 11 lives lost in the name of faith, belief, or madness. It serves as a poignant reminder of how fragile the human mind can be and how grief can lead us into the darkest places. This tragedy echoes a warning about the perils of blind faith and the need for open communication about mental health struggles. As we reflect on this tragedy, we are left to wonder, how far can belief take us? And at what cost? This has been Shadows of Burari. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this heartbreaking story. Be sure to tune in next time as we continue to unravel some of the most mysterious and unsettling cases from around the world. Until then, stay safe and be vigilant.